Right, all hands to the pump. Now, I believe we did the animals. I'm sure that's the one thing I did that actually, yeah, was going to help us this time. Well, there's enough in there. There definitely is. It's not too terrible. So there's a lot of work for us to do, and everybody needs to do their bits. Yeah, all tractors. I'm going to set the one that is over by the animals. It is also going to be used. It's quite a powerful thing, this one is. But I think it's only at its 160 configuration because we've not upgraded it. But so really, it's going to struggle a little. But then sometimes it's just that. So they're sort of poking out a little bit for some reason. I don't know why. It really was working fine on Rizu Forest. Then I changed. There's a couple of things that were wrong. One thing on modding, any modder would know, if I would say scale needs to be 1, they would like to say, yeah, absolutely it does, or you're going to have all manner of hurt. Now, this is something that okay, so the name of the production, so I've got to quickly scoot out and get this in quickly because we're going to lose everything inside it, and we have got a lot in there. So let's just shove everything out of the way because that will reappear exactly where that circle is. Well, actually somewhere in there. Yeah, so I need to scoot quickly somehow and check what this is without saving the game. So, this is annoying. Right, I shall be right back. Phew. Now, it's not the same one actually, but it is the same one, if that makes any sense. What I mean by that is, that wandering thing, it's gonna like go careering. I apologise for going on their lawn, but it is such a pain. It just wanders forever. I need to do the chocks later. To be honest, I've been really busy, like doing all of the. Obviously, what I found out, that little tiny snippet that I put earlier about I've done that to all of my models now. So this should now. It's a different mark where I do a copy so that I don't ever lose them if I make changes, even minor changes, because you can totally rip these to pieces. So it should have everything. I didn't have a lot in it actually, but it could have done. Right, let's get cracking on what we were actually talking about. We want you, and obviously everybody's exactly where they were before we actually did any work, because there's no save obviously. If you save it, you really permanently lose your production. You've got to get out quickly and basically rename the file. Yeah, this is a rename. I didn't know you could do that. I've done this a few times now, and this is the trouble with modding. You adjust something, and stupidly, I keep making the name change. But it is, in my defense, it's for a good reason in a way, because I'm doing backups of like my files, but I keep sort of forgetting that I've like renamed the original, which is on a Let's Play, and then of course the one on the Let's Play disappears because it's no longer got the right name, and the XML will always be the same. I've tried to think of this is the IT sort of person in me. Tried to think of the. I can also see that. There's a bit of a fault on the test weight, the weight over there that we've got. And something not quite right. It was about meshes or something, so I need to like fix that after this too. But it should function correctly. Thought what we'd do is set this one going. Yeah, I was saying once, I apologise. I'm really tired. Yeah, it took a lot of concentration to. You only need a space in the XMLs and it will break. It is as simple as that. There's no. When I say break, I don't mean it's unfixable. I mean it won't work. Yeah, you can. It's not to the point where you can no longer ever use it again. But it is still a pain, and you'll get an error. And right, so Farmer Gill is leading the charge on that one. So we need to get cracking with our. Does this need? I think this needs a bit of fuel as well. We still not got a header for this, have we? We'll order one because it's going to be a long session. And I also remember you need to face it for it to face you. Bit of a tip for anybody. I am a little bit of an expert on the use of store deliveries, so I even know the right way to actually stand to make your header actually work properly. But yeah, it is true. It's a little bit sad, I suppose. It's right. Header. I would imagine it is in Harvester headers. So we need. Oh, Oh, it's a yeah. So what are we going to go for? 4 meter unrealistic. That means it's 90 miles an hour. No, we're going to go for realistic, but these are very reasonable. I think we'll buy one. Obviously, the original ropers were. Obviously, I've got the mod on. I need to take this off to do testing just to make sure mine actually naturally do what they should be doing, really. So we'll grab this. It's an awful lot cheaper, but we're going to get the real one. And we are going to colour it because Chris S and Riley S do let you do beautiful colours on this. So we will go black with a... Oh, that's different. That's not black. Neither is that. Let's do that again, shall we? That's some black magic pearl effect. We want design colour both red and massy red is my favourite. It's really got a real pop to it. And red massy again. Yeah, I know it's very specific, but it is beautiful. So we're going to buy this time. I thought for 1 minute I'd actually bought the wrong header. Oh, okay. Well, I'm being boy, but it's like a little bit in the wrong place. But yeah, well, it's quite a big epicenter really to this, which is the field. We know. I'm not bothered. We'll do field 45 first. It's just right outside. But it's true. We do need. Now I'm apologising because of this beast. I can't control to the point that I can't. Yeah, I'll try. We know you can't destroy the crops, but it's obviously in real life you could. All my life we've got everybody in the way. Of course we have. Now it'll be interesting to test this session to see whether this really is going to be as good as I think it's going to be. I think it really was down to Rory Christie's. Now, so we need to be right where the fence is. I'm going to go into a time myself because this is going to be monstrous. It really is. So I'm going to say my words. I'm going to see you guys and gals on the other side. did have dreams at the beginning of like getting it all done in one session, but I think we'll just go for the 2 fields that we're doing now. I just cannot get over like the behaviour of the Amity. They're like really weird. Really weird. Just thought I'd clean these bits and bobs up that are a bit messy, so yeah, it's driving me crazy every time I see it. It's really weird how I am not normally like this in real life. This type of thing doesn't normally bother me, but it just draws your eye all the time. It's yeah, we're doing well, but it's yeah, although I fixed what I sort of showed I'd fixed, I seem to have broken the normal trigger. And this is what I found before. I started with just pure productions. I worked with the little productions, and then I started to add like the cannery to the and then I thought, oh, I like the silo model, because I've made a multi-fruit silo. I thought, I wonder if you can make the silo into a production, and it sort of worked, but you can't marry the two together. They seem like not to work. They don't like each other, so it's not. I'm not sure whether, or as I said, yeah, I mean, I've never got the two to work. I've got either one or the other, so it's almost like you, in a way, you can't have a normal silo type, because then it's got like the loading and unloading. But it's, yeah, I wanted to load and unload. It's just going to finish first, and then I don't think we need to assist. Yeah, they do shilly-shally around. They like drive backwards for entire rows on with the Amity, and it's no different to the standard Amity. It is literally the same work areas that you normally have on the Amity is what it's got. So it's absolutely no different at all to, like, you know, the standard Amity, because it is the standard Amity. It's just obviously got an enhancement. It's got a hold that it didn't have naturally. But the work area, how it works, is exactly as it ever has been. So it's just in these cleanups. So I will assist in a minute, yeah, because there's nothing to do on that end. And they're like shilly-shally around, driving up and down the field, like all the time in the world. It's not even making an attempt to turn around to get them, isn't it? But it has been driving around, just, you know, like, it does a little bit, and then it like thinks, oh no, I'm not going to finish this. Or you set it right at the beginning of a row, you've just started it, you're sort of showing it where it is, and it goes, nah, I don't want to do it here. That'd be too easy. I want to go up the other end of the field and get some more wages. Oh, it is crazy, I've got to be honest. It is. I was hoping to get out of the field, I think I'm going to be like spending some time scratching my head on. It may be possible. It is true, there are certain limitations in the game that you're not allowed to do certain things, so it is possible. I do know this, having done quite a few bits and bobs, that we're not getting the errors with them now, so we should see if it's not moaning about the loading station or the unloading station, or like, yeah, physics or anything like that. But I'm going to go on, obviously, on my test map, and I'm going to have a go straight after this, just to make sure. Yeah, all I've tested so far is the fact that I can obviously load onto the pallet thing, which I've never been able to do properly. It sort of like was really strange, but I've also opted for doing two things, as in two separate things. So there are I've named them completely separately because I know how they get. The game's a bit funny. So if we take this as an example, now this is kept as it ever has been, so it's almost a silo. This production section, now we can see it sort of works. It'll unload stuff here, but I don't think I've never been able to get pallets in. But then again, I've never tried. So yeah, it really should work, but I don't know that I've ever tried with the production silo to do that. It's just going to assist this last little bit. I mean, yeah, it obviously isn't Rawley Chris, is it multiple? I think that one's going to finish. It's obviously the system itself. Yeah, this is a bit on that. I don't know where the refill thing is now. I did find it once. I think it's near the back. But obviously it wants to fill, you can, because it's a buy point. I mean, I've used all the diesel, and you wouldn't think I'd top this up. It's a bit of a hungry beast, but I think it's close to the back. But yeah, you get that all the time. But there is a spot. I have done it. I did find it before, but this side. It can't be really much more. Yeah, it's just a bit finicky. I can't for the life of me see where its actual petrol place is. Diesel it would be rated, not petrol, but I can't see where it would be. Obviously it wants to feel, but it has got a field place. I did stumble across it once on Oak City, but just because I was like giving up on ever filling this up with diesel. But it is very finicky. I think we need cans for this one really. So yeah, yeah. So after this, I'm gonna have a bit of a go at this. The new one didn't work either, but again, that's only for loose stuff. And again, it could be like I've got that wrong, so I'm not. I'm not. We only tested what we saw work, which is the pallets going in, which is very important to them. So I'll see if I have to scrap the silo side of it and just take the pipe away and just have it as a round building that isn't a silo anymore. Then I will if it's got to be that way. But I'm gonna do my best to try to get this sorted. Let's just help. It is still Nat. It is still Nat. Who I called Naff. Yeah, accidentally I called her Naff. It did look like Naff, I've got to be honest. But that's why I was a little bit incredulous. I thought, Naff? No one's going to call it. I think I did upload something. So, yeah, I got a bit confused a couple of times because I'd like emptied the carrots over into the 40 tonner. Because I was sick to death of the 40 tonner not ever being used, and then of course I went down and I thought, no, you've used this for carrots. So yeah, it can be a bit confusing when you do this. But we've done 2 of our 3 fields, and our other worker has done that beautiful field. So let's just set you to this edge over here. I don't know where we actually get off the field, so we're going to guess. Yeah, we'll just like literally go over there and hopefully. Right, smashing. So let's just finish this last little strip off, and then I'm going to crack on and have a go. I've literally done an awful lot of work. All my models are the same, so they're all broken. But when I say that, it's yeah, I mean it was a monumental task. Once I figured it out completely, I've done this before a long time ago, but I was right at the beginning of like my modding, so I didn't trust my instincts at all. But I'm not quite sure now whether it is possible to do it. It may be because I had an inkling like the first time I did this when I changed from like a little production to using a silo body, but it still was called. Yeah, basically everything has a function. So you have to tell it what it is. So I declared it not a silo but a production. So I did do everything right, which means it no longer, but it is true that although that is the case, it will still use the silo inputs a little bit, but I can't quite master trying to get everything to work in the silo. I don't want to get too technical. Yeah, it's got, no, it's true, yeah, it does get a bit technical, and I'm expecting you to understand what I'm going to chat about, you know, like if which is nonsense. They call it like exact field root node. Still that thing. Yeah, I did. I'm not sure if I'm going to need that one. So we should get that field done next session, which shouldn't take long to be honest. So I would imagine but we will obviously have a good look at how well, while we're chatting, we will. It's a beautiful bit of kit. This is better. It is weird though. I'm not quite sure I agree about it being 6.5 meter. It's inset a little bit. It's a bit, a bit confused. Oh, no, I keep making the mistake of like doing that down and attacking the thing. I would have damaged the arm. So let's grab. That's true. We could set. Again, I'm trying to get to really good habits at setting the ploughs going straight away, especially when using root crops such a lot. So yeah, and we also need to really get the honey amount. I know we did a little bit in testing earlier, but it's hardly the same. Right, let's go grab that. And also the other thing is we will probably do the same for this, Oh no, we don't need to. We can go straight onto the road. Fantastic. So that's all done. We are going to need to grab the stones, really. But it is true, one of these is going to become an extension of the farmyard. So let's set this one going here. There's a couple of little spots of stuff that, yeah, and I suppose this is also why I've been saved a little bit by the fact that I've used production silos that I created myself from quite early on, because obviously the production silos, now they do work and they're a slightly different model. There are a few models I did not touch because I know they are unique. I didn't touch the self-sufficiency, I didn't touch the production silos, I didn't touch the little mini silos because they're all unique. I didn't touch the buying station because that also is a unique and a completely different, although a production, it's a completely different setup and like triggers than anything else. So I left that completely low. But obviously the good news is this is varying everything around. So the fact that this works has not only on this Let's Play, but also on other Let's Plays saved my bacon, because I can't always, when these break, the only way I've got of putting things in is this way, which is a bit, obviously I need to fix this. Yeah, I have sort of been here before a couple of months ago where I thought, again, I'd literally went through all my models, I thought I'd cracked it, I got everything working, and again, that was the loose. I did it the other way around. I couldn't dump, then I did a bit of tweaking and I could dump, and then I couldn't put the productions in, and it's sort of like as if they don't work together well. You either have to choose one or the other, and that's what it seems to me to be like. So, right, let's stick this, get this ready, and then we'll have a good look and see how well we did, because we did half get some tonnage off these fields, as you'd imagine. I'm a bit, now I have got an idea, but it all depends on whether or not I can fix things. I'm going to make a straw mod. I think I mentioned it sort of briefly, but it is true. I asked Copilot yesterday, well, what can you make with straw? You know, it forgot straw hats. That was the obvious one that I knew about that you could make straw from. And it's apparently, there's all manner of quite biodegradable cups, straws, all made from straw. A little bit like bamboo's become very popular. So has straw. You can use it. You can make obviously a factory, and with glues and things like that you can actually make it into fibre, and then you can actually make things from it. Usually, like, it's very biodegradable. It literally, so you can make cups with it that literally degrade in just a... Now let's put this last little bit in and then we'll have a good look. Yeah. Yeah, so obviously you saw I took the trailer back. I thought we've not really got room at the minute. We will have in time. We were also getting low on funds. It wasn't for that reason. We could have managed, although we was on 40 odd grand, and then suddenly it went down to about 6, so there must have been a heavy production cost that went out because of that. But that was, it is weird with new productions. I've found this on a few Let's Plays. It's almost like it charges you some hidden cost for a production at the beginning. I've had it on a few Let's Plays. Frontier did it, literally hundreds of thousands, although they were rather unique. Let's have a look. How well did we do? Because obviously it's like, it's ferried this lot around. It would have filled everything up. So let's see how well we actually did in total. So wow, look at that, field 19. I mean, that is a monster. That is bigger than this, really. I'm very pleased that we've got that now. But it is true. I think it does make more sense that we can steal this bit here, really, and yeah, have that as the farmyard, because it's sort of like this circle, and it's got a good entrance just there as well, I'm thinking. Right, so how well did we actually do? Yeah, how much milk have we got as well? Let's be thorough. Eggs, nearly 3,000 litres, and 9,375 tons, 1,000 litres. I'm trying to stop saying tons because technically it's not. So yeah, that's brilliant. We're going to obviously sell the cows when they give birth with this new thing that you've got, this new fantastic mod, which is realistic, let's be honest. They don't disappear into nothingness. It's weird how giants, it is strange really, that giants are really good at certain elements of the game, and then other things they like totally ignore, and yet they like the ones that go on about realism a lot. So it's a bit of a strange one. So this is the cannery, the original. There is the other thing is we've got an absolute shed load of this is going to be, obviously we had to do the harvest. It was fairly obvious we got to do that. So this is like obviously topping up, and I would imagine the luxury desserts too. Yeah, that's absolutely chocker. We did a bit, but not all of it. So the honey, we got 7,000 litres. Is it doing its flour yet? Oh, I didn't switch it on because it was cheating. Yeah, I've knocked this down. It's still quite good, but I've got to be honest, the original one was... I'm playing this one by feel, really, so we want to switch that one on now because it won't do 100 odd tons. I thought that was a little bit... I think it should do 7,200 litres of flour. Now, the mills tend to be good anyway. Even the little tiny ones that Giants do are actually one of the best things that they actually did do. So that means anything else? Can we get anything? What do we need? Butter, honey. That's true. We're doing the butter for that, aren't we? So it needs flour. We've got honey. We've got eggs. So we can, next session, go grab them and start this off. Yeah, tomorrow morning we'll have done enough flour to start these processes, because I really am wanting to see how well this is going to do. And obviously the other thing is I might not have the prices right. Although it is about the same as cakes, but if cakes are anything like Giants did with the cereal factory, then that's not necessarily a good thing. Yeah, again, it's like one of those things that might not be. So yeah, the straw thing. I have an idea. I've literally I even done the graphics and everything for like this type of thing, so I might well knock one of those up, because it's sort of, I can use the luxury desserts, although the silo model that I've got is almost, I can swap things in and out quite easily by design, so I can knock one of these up. That means I can then concentrate on like getting the graphics and all of this lot tied up, because this one here, the luxury desserts, has already got special field types, which I can then change for new field types on another one. Obviously the recipes are completely different. There's always got to be some work, obviously. I want to see so that's still got some straw in. Did we tell that too? Yeah, we did. So the straw should be calling for that, strangely enough. And the production silo has got loads of carrots, quite a lot of canola, oats, 23 tons, which we didn't tell the oats to go, did we? We ought to switch everything on that needs to be distributed, because I don't think we did do that for the oats. No, we didn't. Activate, and we want you distributing. That is distributing. It's activated. It looks, yeah. So some of them that you can't see them terribly well on like yeah, that's distributing. Fantastic. And it is on. Fantastic. So the tiny silo is just doing straw at the minute. That's all we've got it calling for. The corner production silo has got, so yeah, this is they sort of talk to each other, it seems to me, because obviously there's nothing switched on that one at all, but it's like listening to the other ones and offloading some of the stuff. An awful lot. It's 105 tons of red beet. We've not switched that on. We never switched the straw on. It's not on, but it's got it. This is the strange thing that I really could not figure out for the life of me, on how on earth this does this. I mean, because we've not switched it on, so it's going to keep it, but we I suppose really we do need to. Yeah, we need to switch the things like the carrots and that wants doing too. Everything that is in there that needs pushing across, we're going to have to like tell it to go. Hopefully it's not got any eggs in. No, we've not. Yeah, we've got that to do soon. Green beans. Yeah, I mean, obviously we've also got the beans and that to do, so we might actually, I'm trying to think about this, I need to test my oats, activate and distribute, parsnips, activate and distribute. Yeah, because obviously we've got the pea. I need to test it. I've not actually tested that it's actually working at present, so, but activate, distribute as well. That way it can like smashing. So I think that is everything. That's everything activated. We really do need a bigger production silo, but this we're sort of yeah, we sort of, it's look at what it's got in it. It's almost hardly ever empty. Now, we really could do with a huge one, but again, we were going low on funds. We are like sort of doing things and then like stopping doing things, and you know, like that's how it's going. So, right, I think this is a good place. Next session, we're going to get the honey from the back. One thing I was thinking about is that although I've done this as the honey spawn place. Where have I done it? Oh, where have I done the honey spawn? That's, yeah, where did I stick the honey spawn thing? It was around here. That's right. I put it right next to the production because I did think about I don't need to like look it very far, which is not a bad idea. I knew I'd seen it. I was thinking, where is it? Yeah, and obviously these are in different places because the model changed. The other thing is, it is possible that this is unlevel. Yeah, I mean, it's got level to ground, but if it's still unlevel, it will not. Yeah, and you can see, I don't know whether that's a sign that it's not working when it does that actual thing like that. That's about the level point. If you can see inside and you can see grain, that is actually right. To soften a little. Yeah, really it should just about sit a little less than that. That's not quite right. So really I would say that's probably about right. Wants to just, yeah, the weird thing is as well, I obviously looked in the i3D file as you do, well as I do, as any model does to do the models, and I noticed that nearly all of them are slightly above 0. I would have thought obviously ground 0 is, as the saying goes, would be 0, but it's like 0.157, and to begin with I thought it's just like a random thing, and then I looked in other mods as well and they were 0.157, so I thought, so that's actually ground 0 is not actually ground 0, it's just not quite ground 0. Let's just try this as well. I don't know. I don't think it will be. I think it's as I said. That to me looks absolutely spot on. That does not look like it's like proud or anything like that. I think this is spot on. Now we know that the palette's going, which is also a sign that I think things are right. But we're just going to give it a chance. Just would like to test this. Because you sort of begin to feel like you're going mad because you're like thinking, is it so? But I think what my gut tells me is that this really is, like I said, that so we need to grab some. I don't think you can do the two things. I don't think they like each other, the old and the new. But I might be wrong. There might be a way to do it. But again, having studied both sides, okay, let's stick them in. My bad. It's my own silly fault for like doing it, and that's what I keep saying about. Yeah, it's not dumping seeds. Yeah, so let's grab. In fact, we could grab the oats. That's not a bad thing because it doesn't really matter which one we test. It's just loose. It's the loading trigger. Now it may be that I haven't actually done the loading trigger, but I'm almost sure that these haven't changed. The one thing, the production's what they called for. I thought I was going to have a real job on my hands. And then like, no, take flour. I'm not sure it has oats, but this one definitely does have oats, wheat and corn I've chosen. It's a corn flour. Yeah, no. And again, this too. Yeah, because on a production you can put stuff in loose. So I should really, this would be, I have chosen going separate. So really the place where this should be popping is actually here. I believe that's what I did. I need to check. But I wanted to still keep things separate so that one was what, in case I was right, and it is like, is this level? It's fairly level. Oh, you can't really tell with chevrons, it's not perfect, but I think it looks fairly level. You do get a little bit of leeway, it's only if it's a long way out. So to me, this is what you start to like roll around thinking, oh, I'm not quite right, but it is right. It's the fact that you're not allowed to do it, as in like it wants you to do it one way or the other. But if you, I'm gonna get tempted again. I am. Let's stick this back in. At least the production silos can. I will have a look at this, but I think I'm chasing my tail because I've been here before where I like think, no, I just have to like do this, and then it'll all work, and it never does. We struggled with the production side with using the silo side because it likes bales and like loading and unloading, but it's not particularly fond of the pallet side of things. So I'm going to leave it there anyway. I will figure it out, or I will figure out that actually there is no figuring it out, which I think is probably it's just actually. Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say my goodbyes, but I'm going to set this going on the field next door. So, all that remains to be said is thank you very much for watching. Truly do hope, well, soon we're going to see this production actually in action. And I'm intrigued. I should tell you why I designed special pallets. I would like to see whether they actually do use them, because these are unique fill types, which means I can choose. Well, I have chosen to make my own pallets, and I just want to see them and all the rest of it, so I'm really quite excited about this. But obviously that's why I really wanted to pay attention and get this working. So I think I'm going to have to end up getting rid of the silo aspect of it, get rid of the pipe, get rid of the loading station, and have it just as a production and do away with the silo bit of it. I think that's the way it's going to have to be, and the silo will just be a building. So yeah, I think it's going to have to be that. Yeah, but I really am sticking my hook this time. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. Truly do hope you're going to stick with me on this journey. And I'm going to say goodbye for now.